Welcome back, everyone. This is Niagara Fats. We are on Buying the Farm Challenge. We are in December. You see out the window, it is snowing. It's 24 degrees Fahrenheit, the high of 37, a low of 14. Looks like it's going to be a possibility of a white Christmas. But let's get the time bumped up here. But here where we live, it's kind of cold today. We've had snow, we've had cold, we've had snow most of December since Thanksgiving. But Christmas is calling for 57 degrees. I don't think we're going to have a white Christmas. So, anyway, let's see what we have for contracts today. And it's not very good. Oh, another cultivating contract just popped up as we pop on here. So, we're going to take both of those contracts. I was thinking about buying a plow. And let me show you the plow that I was thinking about buying. There's none available on the sales used vehicle sale. That is a cultivator we're not going to use. Horsepower requirements. So yeah, there's nothing. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any planters or seeders. Yeah, I mean, I know that one's there, but we can't afford that. It's too much. I don't think we'll recoup our money back. So let's go grab those contracts quick. And it's not very much money compared to what our harvesting contracts were. But there is two big withered fields, so I'm thinking maybe those will pop up. 4 and 8. What were those? I think those were soybeans that we didn't get to. One of those was a contract available. I don't think 4 was, but I believe 8 was an available contract. Those are some big fields. 47, a little over 47 and a half acres. And then this one is 61 actual field acres. So over 61 and a half acres. So those are some big contracts. But we'll go take care of these two little contracts and we'll do some talking, maybe a little time lapse in here, but let's get going on those. While we were off camera, I purchased a power washer and I cleaned up this ginormously messy thing and I straightened up the header, didn't wash it, cleaned up the corn header so it's clean. And so we need to, and I did go get that fertilizer spreader and I fixed the sales point. Again, I used that sales point when I was having trouble with the combine working the harvester, and I ended up going with the gleaner. I lost some money there on the equipment I bought. We are not going to wash up this case. We'll probably come back and wash it up. But yeah, we'll get a few things out of the way here. Actually, what did I see here? Let's jump into the tractor, get it started. See if we can wiggle my way through here. Let's get this other door open. Set the fertilizer spreader outside for now, out of the way. I think we're going to have to go in and get the trailer out of the way. So we knew December was going to be a little lean. January, probably the same thing. This opens for some the possibility of one of those soybean contracts staying, but it looks like those withered, so those were not a possibility any longer. We have a cover. Let's get this covered up. Keep the snow out of it. Leave it sit here on the corner of the property. Go in and grab our cultivator, and we will head to one of the cultivating contracts. So, hope everybody is doing well. Sunday here where I am recording from. Heading into the Christmas season. I guess we're fully deep into the Christmas season. As you can see by the date up in the corner, the 21st. Hope everybody's doing well. Enjoying another farming simulator video here by Niagara Fats. While we're discussing it, those that are watching, if you could subscribe, be greatly appreciated. Like the video, that would also be greatly appreciated. If you have any comments about how you like it, how you don't like it, I'd greatly appreciate to read those as well. I'm here for improvement. I do have a question for anybody that's out there watching that knows. What are those weird animal noises that constantly keep coming up in Farming Simulator? I don't remember them in 22, but they're definitely in 25. Sounds like a bird. I'm not really sure. All right, 14. I think it's the one we harvested, so we'll head down that way towards it. Let's get rid of the map. Hit the old cruise control. Hopping along at 27 miles an hour. So we're at $182,000. All right. I am apologizing now for the interruption. My eldest daughter, who is home, was supposed to get up with me. We were going to go to the grocery store, and she did not get up, nor did my middle daughter. And now I'm starting to get a headache, so I told him I was coming down to record. And anyway, I got interrupted, so we'll have to see how that's going to seam together in this. But anyway, let's take a real quick look at this line of credit mod here. That's what we were, or the net worth tracker, I'm sorry. I keep calling it a line of credit. The line of credit and net worth tracker are both developed by Socksway Up, SWU Farming Sim or Farming Sim Socksway. I think it's Farming Sim Socksway Up. Either way, he's got a great channel. Check him out. He's awesome. Um, I'm not here to promote him or anything like that. I just think he's a really good YouTuber, and I do like him. Quite a few others that I like as well. Krustoo, Zorch, and Rusty Money, to name a few. But anyway, this is SWU's stuff, so check it out. I don't think it's on ModHub. I'm not really sure exactly where I got it at. His website, Discord, I don't remember. But I'm sure you can do a Google search and look it up. If you know how to do mods, you could be able to find it. I'm not here to try to help you figure that out because I'm not the greatest at it myself. But anyway, so this is his line of credit, which we have the line of credit out. We took $400,000, simulating that we had some cash, uh, but took out some cash, a line of credit, whether we won the lottery or whatever happened. Sold our business, decided to get into farming, but you can't just get into farming and buy a farm and the land and everything. You have to well, I mean, you could do it either way, but for us, our start was to come in here and buy some equipment and get out and do some contracts and help the local farming community out. But anyway, our balance is still $296,000. Our monthly payment's $3,100, and the interest rate fluctuates. I've seen it up to 6% already. If we go back to some videos, and it's now down to 4.14%. Uh, we took it out at the maximum amount so that the payments would be low, so that we could continue to do this. And then the goal is to pay it down. So we've paid twice now. I believe we've paid 50,000. So I think we've paid $100,000 extra off in addition to the normal monthly payments. But anyway, our net worth tracker, we are at $110,000 of total net worth, including our vehicles, our farmland. I don't know if it counts the buildings, our cash on hand, minus our loans. So he's got it figured out that we are at $110,000 net worth, which is fantastic. I like that. This way, if any little bits of equipment pops up that we know we're going to need in the future, like that fertilizer spreader, a planter, a seeder, things like that, that we know we're going to continue to use as we grow and develop our farming life, and into trying to buy our farm. Let's go up here to the loan system. Let's see, just curiosity, if we wanted to take a loan, where we're at. It says we can take $323,000. That's going to keep increasing the more that we have our loan paid down. So again, I'd like to keep paying that loan down. I think we're in tune to make roughly 30 grand in these two cultivating contracts today. So we'll probably um, calculate that out and just pay that amount today on these on that line of credit loan, and try to keep boosting that amount that we can borrow, because our ultimate goal is to buy the farm, and we are going to have to take out a hefty loan for that, which we already knew. It'll be a 20-year loan. It'll probably be in the $2 million range, thereabouts, two and a half. We want to get some animals, cows, and we're gonna have to seed and do all of those things. So let's get going on this cultivating contract here. We're going to, what are we going to go speed wise? I don't know if we have to worry about the speed on this. We got the speed override on. It wants us to go 15. But I recall the other time that we are going about 9 or 10 miles an hour, which is fine, because I think it only goes 7 or 8 miles an hour anyhow. So we're only a couple miles an hour over that. So it's not completely unrealistic. But mostly I just do that for the amount of time, and so that my time lapses don't have to be crazy fast. Let's see, who was I watching yesterday or today? I was watching somebody on YouTube doing farming videos, and they said that they don't like to do time lapses, but I love to watch time lapses. I don't know, it's satisfying to me for whatever reason. The game is satisfying. I love farming. Actually got into Farming Simulator because I was watching farming videos on YouTube. I had no idea there was even the game existed. I think I had seen it on a tablet or a Android years ago, but didn't really know how big it was, how big of a community it was out here. It's amazing to me how big a community it was. I got into it, Farming Simulator 22, and just started playing the snot out of it, and here I am a couple years later. And I don't even think I got into Farming Simulator 22 until it was already out for a year, so probably came out in October, November of 21, and I didn't pick it up until probably a year or so later. Oh yeah, we're crawling at 9 miles per hour. A lot of snow. Let's see how long the snow is going to last. Okay. It'll probably be hopefully done by 11 o'clock. So we're gonna bump the time up to 5. Hopefully get that snow out of here. See how long it lasts. I do have that line control mod on that shows you the line and then disappears. Better for YouTube video posting, I guess. I don't know, maybe not. So what do you guys think? Add in the comments. Do you think I'm gonna make this? How many episodes do you think it's gonna be before I get done with contracts and can get the farm? I think it really depends on how many harvesting contracts we continue to take up in the prime season. So the way this is going, it appears that this is all going to be soybean and corn which is primarily the crops that are produced here in Ohio, which we are in Ohio, Sharon Center. And I did think we started out with a canola contract, so there might be some grains, wheat. While we're in here continuing our back and forths, why don't we take a look at the fields and see if, yeah, we should be well into the wheat. So let's see if there's anything planted in any of these fields right now. Let's see. Number 9 is, let's see, what is that? Barley? Oh, geez. Number 9 is a huge barley field right now. So I think barley is the same as wheat. Now there's barley up top. What is wheat? Wheat is planted September, October, harvested July, August. And barley is September, October, June, July. So that could be a possibility of a contract for us. A big field, which we may have to take that on. That'll be some jump cuts and some time lapses, which again I say I enjoy those. I don't mind those. Um, I think it's satisfying to watch, especially myself watching my video, just to see what I look like, and knowing that I did that for a couple hours and I can condense it down into a few minutes of time. The back and forths, the progress. I did a time lapse once of when we used to live in the country. We had a huge concrete driveway and a big concrete pad that went out to the barn that I had, and it wasn't completely just disgusting dirty, but it definitely was over the years dirty. And so I did I bought I have a gas power washer, and I bought I don't know, for lack of a better term, like a broom, a roundish broom that is used to do concrete driveways. If you've ever watched those videos, and I set up my phone and recorded into a time lapse, and I enjoyed watching that several times. The progress, the going from the dirt to you can see the stark difference. Just kind of neat thing to do. So I think we're going to do one more pass here on this field, talk to you a little bit longer, and then we'll jump into a time lapse. Speaking of time lapses, I also like FS25 in the way that when it's wet, when the fields are wet, they have kind of like that. Well, maybe it's just my computer, I don't know, but it just has that texture that it looks like it's wet, like when it's cultivated there. I think that just looks spectacular. I like the way the shadows are. Now, I don't have the best of computers. I have a decent computer. Unfortunately, I didn't really spec it out too much when I bought it, thinking about recording and doing YouTube videos. I went with the lower end as far as space and storage, and so I had to buy a backup drive, which works fantastic. It has no problem for recording these videos because I was running out of hard drive space. But that's my solution, is to do that. But I think it does okay. I might try to fix some of the drawing distances. I noticed that some of the trees that were off were not rendering, and then they would pop up the closer I would get. I'm not sure if I'd be able to fix that, if that's going to affect anything. I thought I had it up pretty high, pretty decent high settings on mine, but I might have to look and see. But again, I'm not out here trying to make quality videos, but I'm not out here to make, the creme de la creme of videos. Oh boy, it's really snowing hard now, or maybe it was just that view. Hopefully the snow doesn't bother anyone on this video. It's a little tight, but it is December, so it is going to happen. Pushing along towards 11. Hopefully, after 11 o'clock, it stops snowing. The faster I move the time, the more fuel I'm going to consume. So probably have to stop and get some fuel in this. But let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and bump it up anyhow. Oops, that was the wrong button. Let's bump it to 10 times. You're going to see the fuel really consume. So if you see up in the top corner, saying that I'm using anywhere from high 30s to low 40s liters per hour. I know I'm not quite at half, but the mod that I have installed, which I think is a really good mod, I'll have to look it up and let you guys know what it is. But that mod consumes the fuel based on the in-game hours, whereas the actual game itself only consumes the fuel based on the actual real-time play, not based on the hours in the game. So I never really thought that the fuel consumption was extremely realistic. I guess what they're looking at probably is the fact that you're consuming fuel based on a monthly basis, not a daily basis. So I guess the mod that I use bases it that you're on a single 24-hour day. So I mean, that's the thing. This game is based on it's a simulator based on a month being done in a day. Now you can stretch it out obviously and make your month. I think you can make it out to 28 days to simulate like basically a full month, but I don't know what you would I don't know what kind of farm you would have that you would need 28 days to do stuff. I've done some playthroughs where I've had it out to I think 3 days is the most I've ever done. I played in a multiplayer server where they had it out to 7 days, but we were a consolidated farm where we were all working towards the same goal on one farm, and it became extremely boring because there was no tasks to do. It was the same things over and over and over again. It wasn't any real progress on the farm. They wanted a homestead type farm with 10 or 12 people, and it wasn't a very good idea. It was a good idea in concept, but it wasn't a very good idea in implementation. People just started dropping off, and but anyway, I digress on that. The point of that was is that you can set this up to be as many days as you want it to be, but in order to maximize the amount of time that you play, whether it be 2 or 3 hours on a day or every other day or a couple of days here and there, you're trying to get the tasks done that would normally take a farmer weeks depending on weather. Obviously, it'd be hard to say that whether this would be happening depending on the I suppose if it was 14 degrees, they could 14 degrees Fahrenheit, you get out on the field. But then again, I don't know if the equipment would rip through 14-degree frost and ground. So again, I'm not a farmer, so I don't know. I know in 22 they had a mod where you couldn't cultivate or plow uh, if it was too cold. It would say that the equipment was breaking. Oh, and there, speaking of snow, is the snow sticking to the ground. It's funny how at 30 degrees it finally starts sticking to the ground, but when it was colder at 20 some degrees, it wasn't sticking to the ground. But that's the physics of the game, I guess. Kind of want to hold off on the timeline. Oh yeah, now it's slippery. Had a little trouble making my turn there. Yeah, so we'll try to hold off here for a few minutes and see if the snow is going to stop before we do the time lapse. kind of pretty now. Now we'll be able to see for sure where we've been. So I don't know if who's watching this and if you've been in the country, but when I used to snowmobile when I lived in the country, this is exactly what a field looked like, a cornfield. So I think it's pretty cool and detailed how they do it. I like the texture of the snow, pretty true to life. How the corn stubble sticks up and all of that good stuff. All right, well, I've been rambling on here for long enough now, so I am going to jump us into a time lapse. See you on the other side of the end of this field. Okay, that is field. I think that was field 14. Field 14 is completed. Our first field of the cultivating contracts. So I wanted to go ahead and talk to you a little bit more while we run over to the fuel station, fuel up, and I'm going to have to put the map up. Sorry, I have to figure out where I need to go for fuel. So we are going to go out to the left, take a right, hit the fuel station, and then over to field 10 for, let's get rid of the map, over to field 10 to finish up these cultivating contracts. So while I was cultivating there, where I got, as I got towards the end, I was thinking, how are you in your cultivating, mowing, whatever you're doing on the fields when you're playing this game? Are you completionist? Like if you're doing contracts, does everything have to be done? That bus just did a crazy thing there. Oh, that was a collision or an accident. Are you a completionist? Do you everything has to be completed, done? So if you're mowing grass and it's getting baled up, do you go back and hit all the little pieces, or do you just leave them there? So if you notice there on several of those rounds, I was missing little bits, but I knew because the contract only needed to be at 100%. I knew it doesn't require the whole field because of the numerous times I played this game. You can miss some of it and it doesn't hurt. Same thing on the harvesting contracts. You'll notice that I miss a few pieces here and there, and I don't go back and pick them up. That guy just cut me off. Um, but yeah, but it made me think about it because I got to the end of that last row or the middle of that last row that I was doing, and it said the contract was complete. I could see up in the right corner. I'm sure you saw it disappear as well. Basically, I knew I was going to come to 100%, but I wanted to finish that line just because I felt like I needed to complete the job. But in this game, if you've never played it before, it basically once you complete the contract, it'll show the whole field is cultivated. Again, the power of the sim world. So anyway, yeah, I just sometimes I will go back and finish it up. I know when I first started playing, I used to be like I had to get everything no matter what it was. I just couldn't leave some of it sit there. And I watch YouTubers and like, oh, how are you forgetting that? But as you continue to play the game and trying to get stuff done, it's time consuming to go back and get things sometimes. Oh, this is probably going to be a $300 or $400 bill for some more fuel, but that's the cost of doing business, and that's basically what this is a business. Not basically, it is a business. $367. $367 for fuel. Like I say, we really went through time. It's 12:30. We bumped it up to double the speed of what we normally like to be at 5 times speed. And that's another thing you can comment about if you're thinking about it. What times do you like to play on? Do you like to play on 5 times speed, 2 times speed, 3 times speed, 10 times speed? I like 5 times. It's kind of where I found to be the sweet spot. I don't know that it's been any better any other place, but I do know that in this I am definitely manipulating the time so that we can complete our tasks in the episodes. And so if I notice that it's going too fast, I've definitely slowed it down. I don't think that recording is going to be the greatest in the dark. I do like playing this game in the dark. It simulates, obviously, you being out there. So I'll probably, carry on harvest contracts into the dark, but I don't want it to be all in the dark. All right, I got to pull the map up again. Sorry. I just noticed too, if you look over there, the exit of the map looks like a wall, like a Bugs Bunny Roadrunner. I just got honked at, so let's go over here and get out of the way. Oh, it's definitely going to be to the left because this is let's just make sure. Yeah, it's to the left. This is just a big open field here. Looks like a Bugs Bunny Roadrunner sketch over there with it just going like the walls painted by the Roadrunner or by the Wile E. Coyote. All right, let's get this unfolded. Our lines are already up. All right, you've heard me enough of me blabbing on the way over here and fueling up. So we're going to do this whole field in a time lapse. We'll get done. We'll assess our funds, pay off some debt, pay off some more debt, and oh, look at that! There goes the snow. It jumped up to 37 degrees. Snow melted for us. So now we get a full no snow time lapse here. All right, bringing you back in from the time lapse here. Finish these last couple of rounds, and we'll have some conversations here. I first wanted to start out by saying I really love this mod that takes away the controls and just puts you out on the screen. It does zoom you in a little bit, so you can see when we go to the take it off how far out we zoom, which obviously we can zoom back in. But I think it's a really cool mod. So, let me know in the comments whether you like it or don't like it. I for one like it, and we'll continue to use it from here until I find out otherwise. So anyway, there's a couple things I wanted to talk to you guys about. So we'll finish up these last probably 3 laps here, 3 up and downs. So I don't know. This mod that I have that I've seen a bunch of YouTubers use, and I don't remember exactly where I got it from either, but it wasn't Mod Hub. But I love it because it shows the miles that you have on your vehicle. It shows the direction you're going. You can use it for instead of place of GPS. I don't know how to use it very well, but if you look down above the speed where it says P, you can put an emergency parking brake on, and then it has the differentials of the vehicle you're in. But I've been noticing that it looks like the front tires have been slipping on this tractor. So I need to find a tutorial on how to use this mod a little bit better because I don't know. I know the buttons that you push for it are like control number pad 5 or something like that, but I don't know exactly how it works. I need to look it up, a tutorial, and I need to look on the keybinds and see exactly what it does, but I don't know whether it puts it into. I know it changes it to red. I'm not going to mess with it while we're here, but I know it changes it to red on the front and rear wheels by hitting the right control and the number pad key, whichever one it corresponds to, and I don't remember which one it is. But does the red mean that it's locked, or does the green mean that it's locked right now? So if anybody knows and they want to comment, let me know. I would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do some research, which I intend on doing anyhow. But yeah, we're 86% done with this cultivating contract, our second contract of the day. I was going to go ahead and look and see what contracts may have popped up since then. No, just plowing contracts. I think we're going to hold off on doing any plowing contracts. We'll see if they pop up again in January. We may purchase a plow, which we're not going to do a traditional plow. We're going to do a ripper style plow, which would be, I was looking at this off camera. I think we're going to go with this one. It can do up to a 13 shank for an extra 6, so it'll be 23 grand, and it requires 190 horsepower, which we have 260 horsepower. So that might be the way we go, so we can get some of those plowing contracts if they're still available. I don't think we're going to do that number 9, but we're going to definitely go with a 8 and 7 if they're still available next month, because I don't know that any cultivating contracts are going to pop up from here until then. And I know obviously no fertilizing contracts. Yeah, a little sidebar. Look at that. How they did that. That's uh, that's a fantastic. And then they just disappear as they go through. Oh, I already pulled that up. All right, so this should be. Oh, sorry, Kari, kind of came out of nowhere. All right, all right, we're going, we're going. Jeez. All right, let's get this last pass done. Okay, so we talked about that little mod at the bottom, and I will zoom in and show you how many miles we're at on this vehicle. I think it says 58. It's very small. It's hard to read. It's small. It's right below the mph, the miles per hour, and right above the hours on the vehicle. So it's kind of cool. More for like trucks. All right, let's talk about some future plans while we're finishing this up. So my future plans on this are to keep this series going as long as it takes. Now, what the plan will be once we have the farm, I just want to get it up and running and get some cows and maybe produce a year or two's worth of work and show that we have that. My goal isn't to own the map or anything like that. The whole point of this is to get to the farm and be a successful farmer. So if it if it gets to the point where we're unsuccessful and we're just never going to make our loan payment and we're going to go bankrupt, so be it. That's how it goes. If we become successful and we're able to make a go of it on a big farm, that's great as well. But our whole thing here is we're all in on farming, and that's what our goal is. If we fail and we have to sell it for pennies on the dollar and lose our ass, then so be it. But the whole point of this is to get to that point where we're able to buy a big farm and compete with the big corporations, the big farmers, and become one of those big farmers ourselves. In my opinion, that's a pretty good sized farm. Two big fields, cows, and a lot of buildings and a lot of equipment, or a fair amount of equipment. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I'm talking about other series. So I mentioned Krustoo, Rusty, Money, and Zorch. They're doing a one-tile multiplayer competition right now, and I think I'd like to take that challenge on. That looks like a lot of fun. I did a one-tile challenge that Zorch did, but I didn't really do it in like a prescribed amount of time. But I think I might try to do what they're doing. Maybe just record for like an hour and a half and basically be where they're at. Record for an hour, maybe do a half an hour of off-camera stuff. Look at that, we are done with that contract. Do an hour, half an hour of extra off-camera stuff like they're trying to do, and just see where I go with it. See what my ideas are. See if they're different. They have 3 ideas. There's obviously other people that are doing it. Probably going to watch some more videos on some of those. They're posted in those people's discords. Zorch, Rusty Money. I don't know about Rusty Money. I haven't gone on Rusty Money's Discord. I probably have to jump in his if he has one. But I know Zorch and Krustoo have Discords, and I've seen people been posting some videos, so kind of like check theirs out, see what their ideas are. Not try to cheat or do anything different. Just see what other people's ideas are and support other people's videos. But also, I would like to so I might try to do that recording, but then Krustoo started a homestead challenge that he did a while back, and I'm not sure if he's still on that one or not. I'm trying to catch up on his videos right now. I rewatched the setup video several times, try to get an idea, but I'm kind of playing that through right now. And I might do a year or two to see how it's going to go, and then I might actually redo that one and record it. I'm doing a different map than he's doing, and Rusty Money looks like he's taken up that challenge as well. I'm not sure how many videos he has posted on that yet, but I know he's definitely taken that challenge on, and he's doing a different map than Krustoo's doing. And I'm on 4 bridges. I won't even try to guess which ones they're on. I think some plateau that Krustoo is on. But yeah, I think that one's a fun one too. That one is you start with $500,000, and your ultimate goal is that you are self-sufficient and you are producing your own food, your own supplies, your own everything on your 10 or so acres of land. So I am not intending on recording anything on that right yet, but my ultimate idea is to try to get to that past 2 year point, because the third year is extremely difficult. I want to see how I can even get to the 2 year mark, because it kind of makes it progressively more difficult. You got to produce pallets of certain things and food and honey and have cows and eventually have pigs, and I want to see how that's all going to go, planting the different fields on 10 acres and seeing if it's going to pan out. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. But the multiplayer challenge that they're doing, obviously I won't be in multiplayer. I would be in single player, but kind of want to do that one tile. You have one piece of land and see how it goes. So yeah, check those guys out. Zorch, Krustoo. So it's Zorch Farming, Krustoo, Krustoo, and Rusty Money Gaming. They're all taking that challenge on. They're pretty fun. But yeah, let's go ahead and wash this up. All right. So our active contracts, $15,554 and 18,017. We're gonna put $33,500 onto the pay that off on the debt. Collect, make the payment, So our total net worth is still shows us up over $100,000. All right. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up for today. We're still at $182,000 in the bank. Got the loan paid down. Got a couple contracts done. Overall, I would have to say very successful day for December. Started out pretty snowy, kind of it's bumped all the way up to 43 degrees, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to end it there. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. It'd really help me out, getting you guys, getting more people involved in this, on these videos. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.